So as I am walking and with the sun behind me, it's a beautiful day. So I'm going to go through basically the basics of how to do the hyperlapse. So I'm going to show you different techniques, what to use, what equipment when you're out and in post. Enjoy, sit back and relax, or sit upright and stay alert because you're going to need to know what you're doing. We have come to a bit of a path here. Main thing, guys, for hyperlapses is, if you don't already know, a hyperlapse is basically a time lapse, but it is a moving time lapse. So you're literally, basically, you take a step, you take a picture, you take another step, you take another picture. But there's different ways of doing it. So if you wanted to make it look more fast, you take more steps and then take a shot. Another few more steps, for instance, like 5 steps, a shot, 5 steps, another shot. Whereas if you take 1 step and then a shot, 1 step and another shot, it will look a lot more slow. I'm going to find a focus point behind me. Down there you have a bit of a yellow flagpole. I'm going to aim for the top of it, and you need other focal points. When you're doing this, you need to, on the camera, you need to use your rule of thirds, the frames, the grid lines, and have so that everything is vertically up, not horizontal. But, and then make sure it stays 90 degrees up, and for each shot. That way, when you come to post, it will not go crappy. So let's do this and see how we go. As you guys can see, I have just come down a bit further. One good tip is don't focus on something that is going to move. Luckily, this thing that I focused on, the flagpole, that didn't move, so that was good. So you are gonna need, equipment-wise, obviously, a camera, which I'm currently using, a DSLR camera, or mirrorless camera if you have one. You're also gonna need a tripod. So there's a few things you can do. Daytime, you do not need to have a tripod. You can just have the camera itself. That works completely fine. If you have a gimbal, that works even better, because you can just literally hold the gimbal up and just walk and just set an interval. I don't have a gimbal for my camera, so I cannot do that. So I just do handheld during the day, but it is really important to have a tripod for nighttime, obviously, because you cannot hold a camera super still for several seconds. So that is why, and also it's easier just to get everything correct positioned. You need a intervalometer and yourself. That is basically it. It's not that hard. If it is daytime though and you want to bring the sky back, especially for post production, good to have an ND filter. I do not have one, so I can't even do anything about that. But in post I always just drop down the highlights and it is too easy. So one really important thing to know when doing hyperlapses is you need a lot of patience. Hyperlapses, they can take a long time to do. You just need to have the motivation just to do it, because it can take a long time. It takes a bit of getting used to, I think. I mean, I'm not a pro at doing this, I can definitely say that, but I'm just giving you my help and from what I know, the knowledge that I know of. I'm not a super patient person, but I like doing hyperlapses, so it's okay. So for setting mode, when you're doing hyperlapses, it can be a huge difference for different things, such as, especially if you're doing normal time lapse, if you're doing from sunset to night or night to day, you need it to aperture priority settings. That way you can control the aperture, and then the rest of the settings, the ISO and the shutter speed, will adjust accordingly, so it is good lighting. Whereas if it is just during the day, you can just have it, oh yeah, also if it's nighttime, have it on manual focus. That way, so everything, because if you're having long exposure, the autofocus will not work at all. So nighttime, manual focus, that is to be expected. Whereas autofocus is needed and helps a lot, because cameras these days, autofocus is superb. So just use autofocus when you're doing it during the day and manual focus during the night. When it comes to other settings, just play around. It's basically just trial and error. Some days will be different. That's all I can say. So when it comes to doing hyperlapses around other people, just ignore other people, because they'll think like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just ignore them, honestly, because you need to stay focused on getting the hyperlapse done. Because if you get distracted and stop for like too long, you won't know what you're doing anymore. And then you'll have to start all over again, and then it could have been like 1 hour whole wasted just trying to get maybe like 3 seconds worth of a shot. Because that's literally what happens. Like, it might take 1 hour to shoot, but it only might be equivalent of 3 seconds footage wise. Just to keep this short, we are just gonna get straight into the editing process. So let's just swing it into my bed. Okay guys, so we are back in my room and I got my laptop set up here, and it's time to dig into the laptop and show you guys how to produce a time-lapse, a hyperlapse. Let's go. Right, so on the laptop, you guys gotta bear with me because I am trying a new software to screen record on my laptop to show you guys how I edit. So let's see if this will work. Fingers crossed. Alright, let's give this a shot. New recording. We want a full screen. Bam. 3, 2, 1. So as you guys can see here, I am on Lightroom CC. To edit a hyperlapse, guys, there's a few ways. There's video or there's photos, and this way you have a lot more flexibility to edit. So that's why I've taken photos, and you can see I have taken photos. Anyway, regardless of that, you guys are gonna need a laptop, and the easiest way for this, I suggest, is you have Lightroom CC or any other editing software that can edit photos. So I have got one time lapse here, the first time lapse. I've done two hyperlapses, and so I've got 80 photos here, it says. The best way to do this is go to approximately the middle. So I would say, and you have like a little arrow here, right here, that's pretty much the middle area. So maybe this one, we'll say this one, it's close enough, it doesn't have to be exactly perfectly in the middle. Basically I just play around. I normally like to have the auto white balance and play around and see what it looks like. Now this was like sort of like a sunset, so you want more like a warmer feel, but it wasn't really like a warm day, so I would prefer to have it sort of like in between cold and warm. I think that's alright, it looks alright, that's good for now. Now I like to have my highlights back. You should take the shots and have them set so they're exposed for the highlights if you want to be able to bring them back in post. But if you're not doing that, you don't need to worry, because you can easily bring shadows back in post, not the highlights. It's more tricky. So I am gonna take highlights down, although there is no clouds in this shot at least. We don't need to go maximum down with highlights. Bring shadows up a tiny bit. I like to add quite a bit of clarity in my hyperlapses. All my time lapses and hyperlapses, I always have quite a bit of clarity, I would say. So I'm actually going to bring this exposure down just a little bit, and that's good for now. Let's go down to the tone curve. This can do quite a bit of difference, so I just normally do the standard S quite often, and then sometimes just a little bit like that. Sounds good for now. Damn! seem to obviously be able to click better with my right hand. Oh well, I don't obviously practice clicking. So this is the final product, the final edit of this Hyperlapse, at least, just of this image at least, okay? So that is before, after, before, after. So now, as you guys can see, we're in the middle, and there is 79 other pictures. What do you do? So now I like to go to the very first picture, and then you go to the very last picture and hold down shift and then click on the very last picture. Right, so this is actually, I just realized I forgot something. The image that you're gonna edit, press down the 5 key, and then it shows you the image, and you can see a lot better that way. So when you come back to it to click on it, it's easier. You'll see what I mean, because now we have to go to sync it. What sync means is it will produce all images on what I have got clicked here right now. So this here is edited, and all the other images will be edited with just one click. Well, yeah. So watch guys, I press synchronize, and now it will do its black magic, and just depending on how fast your laptop is, it could take a little bit more time than others. So now, see, look, this is the first image, before, after, before, after. So then you basically look how it looks like, and if you like how it is, that's good. Then you go to the very last picture as well and check how it is, and I'm okay with that. This is just for showing you guys how to do this. I'm not going to make it perfect on this occasion. Once you've done that, I then go to the very first image and then go Control-Shift-E, at least on PC, and then you go export, etc. And make sure, guys, that all your images are selected so that it exports all of the images. Since there is quite a few images to be exported and they're raw images, it's going to take a bit of time. Now jumping on to the Hyperlapse number 2 of this. This is the last Hyperlapse I'm going to show you. Just a very quick one. I don't want to go do like a massive long one. I don't want to take too much of your time. As I said before guys, find approximately the middle. Lend myself a bit more room. So this one is the middle, and I'm just going to edit this again. So this is the auto white balance, and again I just look here on the left screen with this one, and then point, and you can just select what feels best about there. That's alright, and I can just readjust slightly, make it a bit warmer. It's good for now. Clarity always up for me. You edit to your own style. You don't copy other people, because you'll never get anywhere. You can always copy other people for a bit, but after a while you'll have your own style of editing. This is always good to just play around, and then standard S curve, that's okay for now. HSL slider, you can play around. So basically this can do so much with colors. This isn't a Lightroom tutorial, this is a Hyperlapse tutorial. So here is the final edit of this picture, of this image. And again guys, go to the very start, okay? And that is all selected, okay? So then you go back to the middle, what you have edited, and then you go sync, remember, sync, okay, here, press that, and whatever you want to be all copied and pasted onto every other image, you can do that. I just press check all because most of the time I go through all the slides and it's just easier that way, and then you just press synchronize, voila. And everything is done for yourself. Really, really easy. Just imagine trying to edit every single image one by one. Imagine how long that would take. That wouldn't be worth it. Now you just go to the very first image, make sure that looks good, and then the very last image, and then you can as well just go like sort of in between the middle and the last image so it looks all good. You want it to be looking good, you know. So again, I go to the very first image and go Control-Shift-E for PC. I don't have a Mac, so I don't know. And then you go export and save to wherever you want to. That is the Lightroom part of it. So let's just switch over to the video editing side of the Hyperlapse part, which is actually very simple. But anyway, let's just head on over there. So we are now into the Adobe Premiere Pro. So I'm just going to upload the images. So basically what you're going to do, you're just going to go import. You can right click, whatever. There's many ways in importing photos / videos into Premiere Pro. Anyway, so I'm going to go into my location. Right, so basically, I've got here the images, first time lapse. I got the 80 images here. You're going to press here, image sequence. You're going to tick that box and then you're going to click open. And then automatically it comes up with a video clip. And you can just drag that on and then you have it. Voila. And now I'm just going to go open to the next one. Again, it's already done it. Image sequence is ticked and you're just going to go open. And then you can just drag that on to the timeline. And so if you take the images with a camera, the aspect ratio is different. So this is basically a 4K hyperlapse. So you can crop that. So that's really good if you're shooting. If you want like the best quality hyperlapse or time lapse, take images because you can then produce that in a 4K video. So right now this is in 4K. I am just going to put that into the worst quality they can shoot it at, so I can actually watch it if my laptop allows it. I'm just going to change the sequence settings. You can just keep that to 40 and that will be fine, I would say. Now I suggest with a hyperlapse you put on warp stabilizer. So you can just type in WAR warp WARP and it will automatically come up with warp stabilizer here on effects table, and you're just going to drag that on there. You need to nest it because it is not a proper video type. So I'm going to nest that, so I'm going to nest both sequences and then drag that on both of them and I'll let it do its magic. Now that I have added the warp stabilizer, and see if we can put it into full, see if we can play it just like this. So yeah, that's basically it. It's a bit shaky here and there. I could have done a bit better maybe, but that's the best I got it. I did just rush it because I didn't want to perfect this, because if I did want to perfect it, I could have taken a bit more time when I actually did the actual hyperlapse. But if you guys want to get it not as wobbly as it is in this, as you guys can see, look, it's a bit shaky. To stop it from being super shaky, you need to have the same focus point every single time. You need it quite spot on, otherwise it could look a bit more shaky. The more you do it, the better you'll get. I'm definitely not perfect from this, far from it. No one can be perfect, you can just get better at it. I think that is basically the whole tutorial. From that, guys, you'll just export it as usual. If you guys like this tutorial, if you guys want any more tutorials at all, please let me know in the comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe, like the comment if you did actually like it. Next weekend, I am going to Stockholm, so expect some daily vlogs from that. Hope you guys liked the video, and see you guys in the next video. See you guys.